Hey, if you're running a small or medium-sized business, you know the pressure is on to digitize everything, especially HR. But let's be real, what starts as a hunt for efficiency can turn into this costly, super frustrating maze of software that doesn't even talk to each other. So how do you get the right tools without the headache and, without burning through your budget? Let's dive into a much smarter way to do this.
All right, first things first, a really honest question for you. I want you to think about all the HR software you're paying for right now. Every single subscription, every platform. Is it all working together to actually move your business forward? Or, deep down, does it feel more like a random collection of expensive gadgets that are just creating more problems than they're solving? That gut check answer is exactly where we need to start.
This slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? It shows the two paths you can take. Over on the left, you've got the tech-first approach. That's the reactive path. A problem pops up, and boom, you buy software to slap a Band-Aid on it. But that almost always leads to a messy, disjointed system. Now look at the right. That's the strategy-first approach. This is proactive. You start with what you want to achieve as a business, and then you pick the technology to help you get there. The difference in where you end up is, well, it's night and day.
And that first path leads us straight into something I call the HR tech trap. It's this belief that for every little people problem that comes up, there's some shiny new app out there that's going to magically fix it. But as so many of us have learned the hard way, just throwing more software at a problem without a real plan, it almost never works.
So does any of this sound painfully familiar? You've got this patchwork of apps that don't talk to each other. Your team is literally copying and pasting data from one system into another. You're paying for this massive suite of features, but everyone's only using what, maybe 20% of it? And if your boss asked you today, could you honestly show them a clear return on that investment? Come on, these aren't just little annoyances. They're huge red flags that your strategy is broken.
So how do we get out of this trap? It's actually pretty simple in concept. We just flip the script. We completely reverse the order. Instead of letting the software lead, we start with our strategy. It's all about knowing what you want to build before you go out and buy the materials. I love this analogy because it just clicks. Think about it. You would never, ever build a house by just going out and buying a random pile of windows and doors, right? Of course not. You'd start with a detailed blueprint. Well, your company's technology, the very engine for your people operations, it deserves that exact same level of thoughtful planning.
Okay, so what even is an HR tech strategy? Don't worry, it's not some dusty 100-page binder that sits on a shelf. It's much simpler than that. It's a clear, living plan that draws a straight line from your people activities, hiring, onboarding, performance reviews, directly to your most critical business goals. That's it. That's the heart of it.
Now, this all sounds great in theory, but how do you actually do it? How do you put it into practice? Well, it really boils down to a simple 3-step game plan. This is what will take you from that tech chaos we were talking about to some real, honest-to-goodness clarity.
Okay, here's the playbook. Step 1. Forget about software for a second. Seriously, what are the top 1 to 3 business outcomes you absolutely have to nail this year? Step 2. Now, thinking about those goals, what people processes are going to get you there? Do you need to hire faster? Do you need to stop losing good people in their first 90 days? Maybe you need to help your managers be better leaders? And then, finally, step 3. Now you go shopping. Now you can find the technology that is laser-focused on supporting those exact things you just identified. See how that works?
Okay, so you've got the strategy, you've picked the tech. The job isn't over. Not even close. Now you have to measure. You know that old saying, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it? It has never been more true than right here. This is how you prove that your investment is actually paying off with tangible results. So let's look at how this plays out in the real world. If your big business goal is to cut turnover, then a key metric your tech absolutely has to track is your 90-day retention rate. If your goal is to be more efficient, you should be obsessed with reports on your time to hire and how fast people get onboarded. You see that direct line? You're using the software as a tool to give you hard data that proves you're actually moving the needle on your biggest goals.
So what happens when you get this right? Let's talk about the good stuff, the real business payoff. Because this isn't just theory. This is what it actually looks and feels like in your business every single day when you put strategy first.
Just look at this number, 15%. What if your new hires were fully up to speed and contributing 15% faster than they are now? That's not some tiny tweak. That's a direct impact on your bottom line, on your team's capacity. That's the kind of huge win a smart, tech-supported onboarding process can give you. Or how about this one? 10 hours. every single week. What could your team do with 10 extra hours? That's time they could now spend on the important stuff, like culture, coaching, or finding amazing talent, instead of getting buried in spreadsheets. Now that is a serious return on investment.
And you know, the benefits go so far beyond just the numbers. Your managers actually become better managers because they have the data and the tools they need. Your employees have a much smoother, less frustrating experience from day one. And you finally have HR data you can actually trust to make big decisions. And maybe the most important thing of all, you're building a scalable foundation that will grow with your business instead of holding it back.
When you really boil it all down, this is about a fundamental shift in how you think. The goal isn't just to check a box and buy some new HR tech. The real goal is to build a better business. The technology is simply a tool to help you get there.
So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. Forget about the software for a minute. What is the number one most important business outcome your people strategy has to deliver this year? Start with the answer to that question, and I promise you, you will already be on a much, much better path.